Dave Meltzer is spiraling in 2024, and if what he's saying about AEW's latest feud is true, which knowing Dave, it's probably not, but if it is, then AEW is spiraling even worse. Slingblade Dave has stuttered and stammered his way through faulty reporting more times than ever this year. He's basically the Super Dave Osborne of wrestling news. And through, put it this way, through AEW's struggles, Super Dave Meltzer's brand of professional wrestling continues its violent disconnect with a mainstream audience during AEW's most important time, TV negotiation season. Today, we're going to talk about how AEW's commitment to inside baseball has cost them dearly, and why its latest, most Meltzerian storyline will officially make them a parody of themselves. Subscribe in Swahili. Anytime any wrestler is asked about Meltzer's rating system, they scoff. It's like when a stranger asks a comedian to tell them a joke. I've got a joke for you. Why did the Meltzer cross the road? Because his in-home nurse left the door open. Even the extremely harmless Chris Van Vliet came for Dave's star ratings, exposing Dave for giving most of his 5-star participation trophies to New Japan and AEW matches. In fact, here's a quick montage of some of the best professional wrestlers alive talking about the imaginary 5-star system.
You have a very rare 5-star rated match with Konuwa.
Don't get me started on the ratings.
I am much more concerned when I perform for WWE rather than one individual trying to grade me in a level of star.
Do you think you're as good as he thinks you are?
No, because like when you talk about guys like Kurt Angle and he hasn't got one 5-star match, I'm nowhere near the level of what Kurt Angle is.
I broke the scale. It fucked up something in his brain where he doesn't even know what good matches are.
Meltzer reacted to Omega's recent Twitch stream takedown by tweeting that these weren't Omega's real thoughts, but instead, Kenny was working an angle with Will Ospreay over star ratings on a Twitch stream. Do you realize how nutty that sounds? Dave Meltzer's Twitter World Tour has reached batshit level red. They say once you pass 100,000 tweets, Elon Musk sends you a teal ankle bracelet to make sure you can stay your ass home. Dave's at 130,000, which means his blue checkmark will be upgraded to a blue question mark to celebrate his midlife crisis. Congratulations, Slingblade. This man is really out in these streets thinking that Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay's feud will be about his imaginary star ratings. Kenny Omega's Twitch audience consists of a small hardcore demographic that comes from an already small hardcore wrestling audience. In fact, Kenny Omega's Twitch audience makes AEW hardcores look like WWE casuals. I pray to St. Oprah that Meltzer is just capping yet again, because one of two things is happening. Either Dave Meltzer has lost the plot and is now delusional enough to think two wrestlers are about to get into a fake fight on national TV over some newsletter bullshit, or AEW is now tripling down on internet wrestling gossip storylines. The same message board gossip that led to a 1-week bump in viewership for CM Punk's backstage footage before AEW tumbled off the Mounjaro for their lowest rating in years once casual fans figured out CM Punk wasn't coming back. AEW hasn't recovered since. Their viewership continues to hover in the 700,000 range in a contract year. Forget no million. If AEW continues to book this all Twitch stream wrestling angle, it'll start flirting with no 500,000 territory. I don't know whom to believe because both AEW and Dave Meltzer are unreliable narrators who are bleeding credibility by the second. It's like that movie Gone Girl, which also had 2 unreliable narrators. But now the only thing gone is half of AEW's demo. WWE just proved that pro wrestling can captivate an audience and catch fire through simple storytelling. The Bloodline is WWE's most successful storyline of all time, and it changed wrestling forever. It was about family, betrayal, and redemption. That's it. And because of how relatable these plot points are, casual fans ate it up the way Bix eats just about anything except vegetables. Anybody can watch WWE's booking of the Bloodline and immediately understand what's going on. But imagine trying to explain a 5-star feud between Kenny Omega, Will Ospreay, and Dave Meltzer to your girlfriend. So there's this white, highly athletic wrestler from New Japan Pro Wrestling named Kenny Omega, and he's in a rivalry with this other white, highly athletic wrestler from New Japan Wrestling named Will Ospreay. And both wrestlers check pretty much the same boxes because they're mostly known for their wrestling ability with average charisma, no memorable promos, no seasoning, no grits, no collard greens, no sizzle, and zero relatability to anybody who doesn't appreciate the delicate nuances of the true sport of professional wrestling. And then there's this guy in his 60s from San Jose who grades matches based on a 5-star rating scale. And his grades have nothing to do with the build-up or storyline behind the match. It's only about the match itself and how hard these two oiled-up males can hit each other, how well executed their holds are, how many times they drop themselves on their heads, and being in the Tokyo Dome certainly helps too. Anyway, a 5-star match is considered a great match, and one day, Kenny Omega broke that scale by having a 7-star match. But now, Will Ospreay is considered the new Kenny Omega, and he just had a match that got 6.5 stars. No, honey, wake up, please, wake up, stay with me. Okay, so Ospreay had a 6.5-star rating recently, and Kenny Omega got jealous because Kenny's now saying that Kenny broke the Dave Meltzer star ratings to the point where Dave no longer knows what he's talking about. And to settle this internet beef, Kenny is going to get into a fake fight against Will Ospreay to try to fix the star rating system once and for all. That's so relatable, right, babe? Babe, wake up! Why did you fall asleep again? This story is so relatable! OMG, did I just bore you into a coma? Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay feuding over star ratings is like the Kendrick and Drake beef with none of the excitement, women, tea, bars, or fun. It's like if the Kendrick Lamar and Drake beef was sold at Food for Less. I could just hear Kenny Lamar telling Will Ospreay, I hate the way that you chop, I hate the way that you flop. Embarrassing. Whether he wants to admit it or not, Dave Meltzer's legacy will forever be affected by AEW, for better or worse. AEW President Tony Khan was raised on the Wrestling Observer message boards, so much so he calls his laptop Uncle Mac. Khan basically learned wrestling through Meltzer's point of view, and he was even an Observer junior correspondent, like being a Boy Scout, but if you get badges for bullshit. Given AEW's propensity to lean into internet gossip on their national television, usually to disastrous results, there's a real possibility that Omega and Ospreay are in fact finna feud over imaginary stars. Khan and AEW haven't even been around for a decade, and already they have the second most 5-star matches as a promotion because Khan books for Dave Meltzer. AEW is essentially New Japan Pro White Boys. It's one of the many reasons Swerve is having such a tough time as world champion. AEW had a spark when it started, as most challenger brands do when number one gets caught slipping, but the more AEW struggles, the more Dave Meltzer's legacy is called into question. Countless wrestlers and bookers have dared know-it-all Dave Meltzer to start his own promotion and see how that goes, RIP Oli. AEW is the closest we'll get to that, and right now, it ain't going very well at all. If AEW continues to roll around in the Twitter mud with 5-star storylines that nobody asked for, it's gonna make them look minor league permanently. A great pro wrestling match can be immortalized if the storyline is strong. Despite everybody raving about Bryan Danielson and Will Ospreay that night, half of those people have already forgotten about that match because we don't know exactly what they were fighting for beyond just being great wrestlers. Now we've gotten to the point where the storyline is focused on how much a middle-aged man likes an exhibition. This is getting weird. What about the casual fans? What about the entire national wrestling audience? Isn't AEW worried about alienating them further? What about the women in the 18 to 49 demo that is cratered? You're not bringing them back with a Twitch promo. This is the worst idea for a feud I've ever heard in my life, ever. Screw the Tokyo Dome. I don't think you can fill up an inside baseball bullpen with this type of storytelling. Wrestling is supposed to be fun and relatable. When Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay get into a ring, it shouldn't only be a dream match to people with a Twitter login. If Kenny and Will can't transcend a good match into a great story, nobody will give a f*** how many times they run, jump, and catch each other. I need a personal issue. Make up an ex-girlfriend or a shocking reveal that Ospreay stole Kenny Omega's man. So now he's Kota Ospreay Ibushi. Make Ospreay the golden homewrecker. Get personal. Drop a kayfabe freestyle about Kenny Omega's diverticulitis. You know diverticulitis rhymes with try to pick a fight bitch? Oh, I know. Have Kenny speak speed up on the highway on Interstate 295 while Ospreay was trying to get into the exit lane, thereby blocking Ospreay and forcing him to drive 2 miles out of his way to the next exit, so now he's 10 minutes late for work. Don't you hate it when that happens? Like, that just happened to me on the Crenshaw exit in Inglewood, and now I want a wrestling angle about it. It's not that hard. Anytime people talk to me about wrestling, they either say A, they used to watch as a kid, or B, they just started watching it again. Either way, they always talk about the characters and storylines, never the wrestling itself, never the 5 stars. This goes for WWE and AEW fans, by the way. If I were to show them a picture of Dave Meltzer and ask if they knew who it was, they'd be like, yeah, I love Carl Childers. Tony Khan has been burned time and again by seeing his ratings diminish through Meltzerian booking, and now this man seems to be jumping headfirst into the Meltzer fire. AEW shouldn't be booking around imaginary stars. This isn't Super Mario, and if AEW keeps it up, it'll burn to the ground like a Goomba after Mario eats that flower. Check out this video about Swerve Strickland's snake-bitten world title reign and subscribe. Are you into this 5-star storyline? Of course you're not. What should Omega and Ospreay really be feuding over? Wrong answers only. Tell me in the comments!